right. Aston University is actually in the city center of the Birmingham city, and this is the Birmingham Town Hall, and beside this is the Birmingham Library. So let me go on to slideshow. So you can now see there's the Birmingham Library Town Hall, and now another slide of this is the library where I actually stayed and did a lot of studies during my first year at that university. It's quite interesting. I just thought I would show you clips of the university where I began my profession. So this is the main building of the university at Aston. At the time, it used to be called Aston University in Birmingham, or the University of Aston in Birmingham. This is now the modern landscape of the university, as you could see. And this is when it celebrated its 50th year. It was made a university in 1966, but before it was a technical college for hundreds of years in the 1800s in a way, till it became a university in 1966. This is another view of the university in 2023. And this is the town hall where a graduation ceremony now takes place. Before, it used to be in the main building. There used to be an extensive hall in the main building. And this is me 2 months ago when I visited the university. And I'm inside the main building and behind the coats of arms. And this is the coat of arms of the university. This is the plaque of my award. And I'll tell you more about this later on in my presentation, ladies and gentlemen. I was awarded the PhD in July 1986. But the university actually confirmed that in February. And I'll tell you more, a little story about this, which is quite interesting. This is the university wildlife, the scenery of the university. And you can see the 3 towers that were demolished. Yeah, those were the 3 towers. These were for students' residence. And I was in one of these towers, this one here on the 7th floor. This was between when I was in the university between 1974 and 1978. And this is the chemical engineering building, ladies and gentlemen, that it was quite new at the time. There are 5-story buildings. I did my research work on the 2nd floor of this building. There's a pilot plant at the basement. This side has got mass transfer equipment laboratory and various other laboratories here. And of course, within the floors, we've got lecture rooms, lecture theaters, and the faculty members' offices. And this building is now no more. It's been demolished. And as you can see here, this is now a new construction of that building, which is no more. And I had some nice, wonderful colleagues from Basra. We were doing research together in the 80s, and various nice Iraqi research colleagues that we both study at that in that department. And that's the lift which you saw in the video. Just a clip of the lift in the video. This leads to the library. You have to climb on to going up or coming down, and be careful not to slip. And this is the modern university library that's there now. Now, to the main topic. Why did I choose chemical engineering? Well, I was relatively good in the three subjects like pure mathematics, chemistry, physics. I'm not really too good in biology. So at the time, I got admissions. Not I got two admissions in the states. In one at Syracuse University and the other at Rochester University in New York. This was in 1973. But I had to retake my A levels, and I was looking for grants, a state grant. I'm from Nigeria, and the state from Lagos gave me a scholarship to study chemical engineering. And in 1974, I also applied to various universities in the UK, and Aston then offered me a 4 year degree program, ladies and gentlemen. And it's called a sandwich program. What do I mean by sandwich? It means that you will have to spend some time in industry. And at the time, we had a 15 months industrial training for this 4 year degree program that I opted for. There are two alternatives. You could go for a full-time 3 year course, or you could go for 4 year. And I went for a 4 year. And this is the first, these are a list of courses that I took in my first year, 10 courses there. After completing these courses with an exam at the end, then you will then proceed to the second year. But before you go to the second year, if you do a 4 year degree, you will now need to spend 6 months in industry, just for industrial training purposes, to get yourself knowledgeable about what chemical engineering is. And more so, ladies and gentlemen, that you are only allowed to recite two courses. You cannot, if you fail more than two courses in those days, ladies and gentlemen, it means you have to repeat the whole year. And I can't afford to do that. Alhamdulillah, to work hard so that I proceed from the first year to the final year without having to recite any course. I passed through all the courses. So this, after returning 6 months, you go back to second year. You then take these series of courses, and in this second year, these were the courses which we took at the university. And when you won't finish the second year, you then have to spend 9 months in industries. And I then spent 9 months in industry, after which I returned back to the university in 1977 after the completion of the industrial training. And that led me to the final year in 1978. And these were the courses I then took in the final year. And in this, we need to do a design project. I remember the design project I did with two other students was in the manufacture of urea. And urea involves ammonia, carbon dioxide, which is an irreversible reaction. And of course, it's endothermic. And it gives an intermediate product, which is ammonium carbamate. And that is being dehydrated from the ammonium carbamate is an irreversible reaction to give a product known as urea. And of course, in urea, you could have it goes through a sort of a tower to get the urea prills. It's quite involving, and I'll tell you more about this project because what I use in that project involves some certain textbooks. And after completing my BS, bachelor's program, I went on to do a 1 year a master's program in this course, which is process analysis and development. So I finished that with, again, it involves a lot of courses, lab work, computer programming work, and then you do a dissertation. And I graduated in December 1979. But meanwhile, have a look at these three volumes, ladies and gentlemen. These were the volumes that I used. the second edition of Applied Process Design for chemical and petrochemical plants, volumes one. There are 3 volumes in all, and this was the author. The author was the late Ernest Ludwig. He published his volumes between 1960s and 1974, but these ones were actually published when I was in the university. So I used the second edition of his work. And by the time I left the university, the late Ludwig published the 3rd edition. So the final edition was then published in 2001, ladies and gentlemen, which I'll talk more about this. It's quite interesting. And at the university, we used slide rules. We were the last batch of students that used slide rules. These were floppy disks, which we used with the computer programs. This was the IBM PC. And these 3.5 floppy disks will go into these to record your programs. We use we studied Fortran programming language at the time. And of course, again, this was the advent of some calculators. The calculators were like a HP calculator, as you could see there. I bought a Texas Instrument calculator at the time, and it cost about 78 pounds sterling. These are known as punch cards, ladies and gentlemen, in writing your computer program. And if any mistake in the punch card when you write your code is discovered in the machine, it will not be compiled. It means that you have to correct, and that could take a day in those days to have your program to compile and have it executed, to have it run, as it were. And these were machines. These were the old machines, the ICL machines used in the compilation and the running of the program. Now, after completing my master's, I again I looked for jobs, and I was offered a job at a company called Blue Circle. They manufacture cement. I was in the research department in Kent as a technologist, and I was there for about 2 years. And afterwards, I then applied for a research grant, which I was given by the federal government of Nigeria to do a research for 3 years, based on my specialty of what I would like to do. So I went back to Aston University to do my research, which was actually continuation of my master's degree laboratory thesis. And it was in using a reactor, or what the Arabs call a mufailat, in studying fast reactions. So what we have here in my research work for my PhD is hydrocarbon compound known as dodecabenzene, of an alkylation of benzene, which is an alkenes. And in the presence of a catalyst, ladies and gentlemen, such as hydrogen fluoride or hydrochloric acid, you could have these 2 types of the dodecal. And here, for the reaction with sulfuric acid, I'll get this known compound. This compound here is known as the sulfonic dodecabenzene. It's highly viscous. It has a low pH, so it's highly acidic as well. And when this compound is now reacted with a base, such as sodium hydroxide or sodium carbonate, it's a fast reaction to give a new product, which is known as sodium dodecabenzene sulfonate. And this is actually the product of a detergent. So what I did in my research, part of my main research work, was to produce a detergent using this reactor here. This was my rig, which I with some technicians helped to build up, and I studied the residence time distribution and also how to manufacture the detergent. And this is the Mufilat, or the reactor, and is a nozzle type of three different sizes, and this is the product of the detergent. And it went from a pH value of being acidic to that pH value of which is highly alkaline. And it was tested. I did the various analyses of that. I wrote a thesis. I had to defend my thesis in front of an examiner and so on. And I'll tell you much more about that. Oh, yes. And again, when I had to defend my thesis on, after 3 years of hard work, I wrote, typed the thesis myself, and the external examiner actually in one of the chapters felt that he wasn't convinced, I would say, and he felt that that chapter relating to the modeling had to be removed from my thesis. And I thought, okay, I mean, I have to succumb or abide by what the external examiner wants. So I removed that portion of the thesis of chapter from my thesis. Now, you could say that I had my thesis carried out, or I sat for it in November, and I had to revise the thesis. Then it was accepted in February of 1986, ladies and gentlemen, right? And I graduated with a PhD in July 1986. Now, this is the interesting bit I need to tell you, that you must never give up. And you believe that what the external examiner asked me to remove, I then had it published 2 years later. That publication was, and this is the title of the of my published paper, which the external requested that it must be removed from my thesis. It's entitled Mechanisms of Nozzle Type Reactor Operation with Gas Removal. It was published in this journal, and that is the publication citation. Well, this is the publication date, 1992. Of course, I've graduated in 1986. So, but I did not, I still wanted to have what I've done, so I didn't give up. Have it published. So I actually with my supervisors and put their names there, but it was then published. And now this publication, there are 4 citations from this publication, ladies and gentlemen. And if you want to actually acquire this article, now you have to pay a sum of £30, British pound sterling. And you now see, this is what the external examiner asked me to remove from my thesis. Now, for people to now read what I've been asked to remove, which I went on to publish, you will need to pay £30 for this. So this is one of the things I'll just need to advise and inspire you, ladies and gentlemen, that you must never give up. Okay, now what happened here is this book. This is an interesting book. You remember this HP calculator? Mr. Wayne Blackwell is the author of this book. I so much cherished because he based his book on this calculator. He used this calculator with various codes in those days to write this book. So this was the first book of its kind. No book has ever been done using this calculator in process design. So the title of it is Chemical Process Design on a Programmable Calculator. And meanwhile, after my graduation in 1986, I was looking for jobs. I got offers in other parts of the world. Actually, I got an offer at Baghdad University in 1986. and in some other parts of the world, in Zimbabwe, in Nigeria. Uh, and I thought, okay, I will return back to Nigeria to do what they call the national service. So I returned back to Nigeria to do a national service, and it involved working in industry as well with the national service. So I worked for Shell at the time. I took this book with me to Nigeria, and then I thought to myself, if Mr. Wayne Blackwell could do this, I'm going to use his book to write a Fortran program. Instead of using a calculator, I'll use a Fortran program to write Mr. Wayne's Blackwell's book, with backed up with some theory. So that's what I did. So after returning back to the UK in 1987, I was still looking for jobs. It was quite involving. I was writing some articles. I got two offers. I got some offers, one in Glasgow, a contracting company, and also at Bath University to do a research. But I opted to have industrial experience, ladies and gentlemen. So I went to this contracting company in Glasgow, in Scotland, and I worked there for about 2 years as a process engineer. I was writing articles for various magazines like oil and gas, hydrocarbon processing, chemical engineering progress, and I completed this book in 1994. So this is the first book that was ever written, ladies and gentlemen, using this 5 1/4 disc. So all the programs of Fortran are on this disc, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the first book ever written using Fortran programs in those days. So, and it was published by a Gulf Publishing Company in 1995. And McGraw Hill, and by the way, with my published articles, I approached several companies, publishing companies, to publish a proposal of this book. And the likes of McGraw Hill, John Wiley, and some in the UK, they all rejected my proposal, but I never gave up. So then Penwell from Oil and Gas offered me a contract to publish the book, but I then opted for a Gulf Publishing Company based in Houston, Texas. And this was now a remark by McGraw-Hill in 1996. I'm just quoting from this. It says, the first book of its kind to use personal computers in conjunction with the Fortran programming language to solve chemical process design and simulation problems. And it says, this book package is packed with a variety of computer programs and contains a wealth of fundamental theories, equation figures, and tables. So this was my first book ever. And of course, it also got a very positive review in the UK in 1996. Meanwhile, I was still looking for jobs. I was working for Humphreys and Glasgow. I then left Humphreys and Glasgow, worked for David McKay in the north of England. And after 6 months, I was actually laid off because I was the last to enter, and there were problems in those days with various companies. They had to lay people off. So I was then laid off after 6 months working for this company, and I started looking for jobs again. So it was quite difficult in those days, and I then got a job as a lecturer in a college in the south of England. So I was there for several years, writing articles, and then finally I got this. One of the articles that I got, which I'd been writing to oil and gas, and then Mr. Allen in 1994 sent me this front page amazing journal, and I'm just going to quote from what it says here. It says, the first time in its history, Oil and Gas Journal with issues merges a printed article with computer-assisted electronic transmission to provide an almost immediate reader service. And it says it is fitting that the first program to move out in this fashion was written by Dr. A.K. Coker of AKC Technology, which is I was based in Sutton Coldfield. And he further stated Coker has authored a number of articles in recent years with accompanied programs, some of which would have been classified as technical best sellers had they not been set out free to our readers. So this was a good compliment that I received from the managing editor, which he sent to me at the time. I thought I'll show you this. So you often get good compliments, and meanwhile I then proceeded because I love chemical reaction with tech, and design. I then went on to write a book, and this was my second book, which was then published in 2001. And it was when I got an offer, by the way, at this college, Jubail Industrial College in the Eastern Province of Saudi Arabia. And at the time, there was no chemical engineering faculty major at the college. So I actually, with two other colleagues, another colleague, Dr. Sharaf Khan, we started off in developing this major, which is the chemical technology major. And I was a course director there at the time. And the chairman was Dr. Zaou Said. And after which I was made the chairman of the department after some few years. And I started looking for recruits to actually establish that department. And this was far back as 1998. And we also started an accreditation board for engineering technology, which is the US accreditation for the various courses we offered. There were three majors then at the department. There's the chemical technology major, there's the chemistry technology major. It was later on that we had the polymer major. And of course, we had several incredible faculty members who also joined at the time in promoting and establishing the department. This college actually caters for the industries in Saudi Arabia, such as SABIC or Aramco Industries. So it's a technical college, and it was offering diploma program before we went on to offering a Bachelor of Science degree program later on in the year. And of course, what then happened was I was approached by a Gulf publishing company, Elsevier, because the late Ernest Ludwig felt that he couldn't continue to revise his books. And since I've already published two books, Elsevier approached me to see whether I could actually revise the late Ludwig's book. And I thought to myself, by the way, this was the book, the second edition of the book was what I used at Aston University. And now I've been advised to revise this man's work, which took him 30 plus years between the first edition and the final edition. However, okay, I applied and I wrote a proposal to the publisher. They accepted the proposal and then began to revise the late Ernest Ludwig's book. And that's why the title, I actually wrote this title down, which was Ludwig's Applied Process Design for Chemical Petrochemical Plants. So this was the first volume of the book, which I published in Saudi Arabia. I published these two volumes actually in Saudi Arabia while I was in Saudi Arabia at GIC, Jubail Industrial College. And this final volume was then published when I returned to the UK in 2014. So you could see now, these three volumes took me 13 years to complete, to have them published. They're well versed with computer programs and design software programs as well. This was when I was in Saudi Arabia and then my return to the UK. And this just shows a graduation ceremony whilst I was in Saudi Arabia with, this is me at the front as the chairman of the department, Mr. Ibrahim Nala, Mr. Mohammed Kandil, the former departmental chairman, Dr. Izao Said, and this is Dr. Al Hassan. And there's me here with this wonderful fellow, engineer Abdullah Ama, one of the graduates. He actually, well, we had a photo session of ourselves, and he made this for me as well as a chairman, which I'm so much grateful to. And there are incredible students that have passed through Jubel Industrial College, and maybe you will recognize there was, I mean, like we'll name a few, like Ahmed Rebe now in Sabic, a senior engineer, and others are now managers in various Sabic companies in Saudi Arabia. And maybe you will recognize this fellow here. He's now a famous fellow in oil and gas, and his name is Dr. Yusuf Ashamari. He was also one of my students while he was at GIC before he went to Nottingham University in the UK to do his BS and Masters, and then he proceeded to do a PhD at Imperial College, which he graduated several years ago. Now he's got his own company and a consultant, and he's well known now in his field. And that is his brother there. And this was me in last year when we attended. He invited me to this climate technology show in London. And this is a certificate. By the time when I left the chairmanship post in Jubel Industrial College, a very complimentary certificate being given to me by management. But it's this one I really enjoyed. I appreciate this one so much, ladies and gentlemen, because this is a certificate given to me by students. And it says here, for being an outstanding professional instructor for the first batch of the part-time chemical engineering students. And these students were the first batch who got their BS in the course. And it's quite, I would say, very complimentary indeed. And it says, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you. So I really cherish this particular certificate so much. After my completion of 10 years or 12 years at GIC, Jubel Industrial College, I then worked for SASREF, which is formerly called Saudi Aramco Shell Refinery Company. They're based in Saudi, in the Eastern Coast, also in Saudi Arabia. And as the refinery, I was the coordinator in that refinery. They actually process crude oil, which they obtain from Aramco, over 300,000 barrels per day. And they have different departments. There's the OPD, the crude distillation unit department, the OPC, hydrocracking unit department, and the OPR, the reforming unit department. And of course, when you know the crude oil that goes into the first department, the crude oil is being pumped to for refining will be the distillation unit. Where you're now getting the liquefied petroleum gas, you're getting the naphtha, you're getting the kerosene, the diesel, the light gas oil, the heavy gas oil, and they still contain a lot of impurities, ladies and gentlemen, which will need to be purified. So my job here was to write what they call a professional development program for the various departments. They had the process department, the mechanical, civil, electrical, IT department, the laboratory department, and in conjunction with their managers, ladies and gentlemen, I had to write a 2 to 4 year development program for graduates. And these graduates, by the time they acquire this development program for 4 years, they should be experts in the different fields in the department. And I actually also had to monitor these people as well. And it's quite fulfilling. I finally produce all the various development programs, which is part of their KPIs and other things they need to acquire to become highly proficient in their work. And this is a photo of SASREF at night. And you could see the fractionating column, the reactors, the tanks, and the various pipe works, as you can see here. And after my completion at SASREF, I returned back to the UK, and also I had my company, which is AKC Technology, which I was trying. I've been it has at the background. I've been writing papers and so on, and the company is a training company for engineers, basically. And I then got an offer from this university, which is the University of Wolverhampton in the UK, as a research fellow. That was the title given to me. And I was to now develop a course, which is the petroleum chemistry and refining course. And I started this development of the course and also the delivery of the course from 2016, and it's still going on because next month I'll be delivering to the second year of the of students involved in a chemical engineering program. This is the second accreditation being awarded to the department by the Institute of Chemical Engineers, just like ABET award from America. In England, we've got the Institute of Chemical Engineers that awards accreditation. And this department recently got its award a few months ago, and it's just to show that the courses being offered are well accredited by the institute, and quite it brings some form of appealing situation to the university as well. And meanwhile, I kept on writing my books, and I started off with petroleum refining book. This one was actually completed this year, the fifth volume of the book. And these I started off in 2014. This one, volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are 5 volumes of the book, which I wrote within a period of 9 years, ladies and gentlemen. And they also contain a lot of Excel programs and computer programs. And quite interesting, someone approached me not long ago this year from LinkedIn, an Arab, I don't know from which country, maybe from Egypt. And he stated that he would like to translate all these volumes into Arabic. And I thought, yes, it's possible. Nothing is impossible. I mean, it took me 9 years to do this, but he wants to translate all this into Arabic, but he needs now to get a publisher, an Arabic publisher, with permission with the publishing company in America, Wiley, Scrivener. And I'm sure, inshallah, if he sets his mind to it, he can have the books translated into Arabic. So these are other things that go on in one's life. And meanwhile, I published 2 volumes of the book with a professor in Iran, Professor Ramat, and these again relating to chemical engineering. It contains a lot of Excel and software programs in Unison. And these are the titles which I'm sure you're using in your courses in the universities, ladies and gentlemen. And again, I'm also involved in the fifth revision of Ludwig's. So I completed the fourth edition. Remember, it took me 13 years to do that. So I started the fifth edition 3 years ago. This is now to be published, but this one, which is now volume one, it now incorporates a new title. The title is Applied Ludwig's Applied Process Design for Chemical and Petrochemical Plants. It incorporates a process safety incident. Now, something happened in this volume because it's over 2,000 pages. So they now have to split this volume. The publisher has now to split this volume into 2 volumes now. So it's going to be volumes 1A and volumes 1B because it's quite large volume. And I didn't know that it's going to take me this much because, of course, the credible inputs I put into this. It's taken 3 years to complete. But now this particular volume 1 is now to be split into 2 volumes. So it will be volumes 1A and B, which will be published sometimes next year, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I would like us to read through, I would like to go through this with you. This was a quote by Brian Tracy. It says, the reason many people underachieve in their careers is because they do not realize how long it takes to attain mastery in any field. Extensive research suggests that it requires about 5 to 7 years of hard work for you to move to the top of your field. This means 5 to 7 years of focused, concentrated, determined work on yourself to get better and better in the key results areas responsible for your results and rewards. There are no shortcuts. So, of course, you could say, oh, 5 to 7 years is a long time. Well, remember how long it took me to complete my books? 13 years, the Ludwig's volume. Oh, but it went so fast, ladies and gentlemen. It further stated here, it says, remember, nobody is better than you and nobody is smarter than you. If someone is doing better than you, it just means that they started to work on themselves earlier than you did. And whatever anyone else has done, you can do as well. There are no limits except the ones you place on yourself with your mind. The fact that others have been able to excel in a field after starting out with no experience or skill is proof that you can do the same. So if I can do what I did, you can do more than what I did, ladies and gentlemen. Just put your mind into it and you can achieve better. Now, I have some inspirational books which I often I would like to share these with you. They're about, I've just listed some 11 books here, which I often read. And I'm sure these will really help you. One more important is the first one is how to study smart, not hard. Effective scientific proven smart study techniques to cut your studies time in half. I'm sure this will be really good for you if you can get it from Amazon. It will help in your exams, how to study and do smart things in your exams. These are all the good books. And I quoted from Brian Tracy's book, which is $1 Million Habits. Okay. I got this photo from LinkedIn. This fellow here is a disabled swimmer. He was able to swim the length of this pool, as you could see here, quite disabled. And it was really applauded by spectators. And he did it. And I wrote in my comments saying nothing incredible. Nothing is impossible. And the caption there is inability is just in the mind. All you need is willpower. So if you go onto LinkedIn, I'm sure you'll be able to see the clip of this fellow actually swimming the lane, and it was being applauded by the spectators. But do you know that he must have been practicing for a long time, even with his handicap, that people are now seeing him? He has been practicing and getting himself for this important day, ladies and gentlemen. So if he can do it, you can also do it. This I want to see whether you're able to see this. This is my website. Uh, this is my publications. So if you go into my website, you can download any of these articles, ladies and gentlemen. These are the various published articles over the years, which will be of interesting use to you. Um, and it's again in chemical engineering, and I'm hoping, and these are courses which I'm hoping to offer later on in the year. And also there's the book review as well of my published work, ladies and gentlemen. So what I'd like us to have a look here is this slide. Can you see the planet Earth here? We're just in space. This is where we all are, ladies and gentlemen. Now, have a look at this. This is taken by NASA, and it says Earth and Moon under Saturn's ring. So this is Saturn, another planet, and this is the Moon, I would say. It's just a dot there, and can you see there another dot of Earth? Basically, what I'm showing you this, ladies and gentlemen, is that we're really insignificant. We're just a dot in space. And this is where all we human beings live and have our means. And what we need for each other is love and respect. That's all we just need. Just respect each other with love, and we can do a lot of things. So my conclusion here is their conclusions. How does one define oneself as being successful? It's a question mark. And what I also, in the conclusion, is that there will be many disappointments in life, but one endeavors to overcome them and to forge ahead, as nothing is impossible. And I've shown you this in the slides so that you will have that whatever you aim to do in life, ladies and gentlemen, you can do them. And for the conclusion is that students should now endeavor to acquire soft skills to complement their main chemical engineering program, such as communication skills, teamwork, problem solving, leadership skill, time management skills, critical thinking. These are things that you also will need to acquire now because things are changing so much, ladies and gentlemen. And students have incredible opportunity with this AI, and you should use them for what you're doing. And more importantly is continuous professional development programs. You need to develop yourself from time to time, which is part of lifelong learning. So these are my conclusions for my presentation, and thank you. And I will now wait for various questions you plan to request. So, Mr. Abdullah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for this amazing session. We are so grateful for you. And actually, we appreciated your time and appreciated your work in this wonderful session. And we have learned so much information and so much things from you. So it is really very good session, and I am and my team very grateful for you. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Mr. Abdullah, for inviting me, and to all those who also participated. I hope that I've at least inspired you, and that you can do whatever you want to do in life, Mr. Abdullah. So long as you set your mind to it and you have that incredible belief in Allah, and that anything anyone else can do, you can do. You can also achieve. And
Well,
I hope that I've inspired some of you, maybe all of you as well, and to greater things than I've done.
thank you, sir. Thank you so much for wonderful words, and we are appreciated your word so much. And your advice were talking in very serious way because we would to become like you. I mean,
No, 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 no,
you
no,
are a
no, no,
wonderful
no,
person.
Mr. Abdullah, not becoming like me, becoming better than me.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank
That's
you
what
to
you
be
have to
humble.
become. Yeah.
Thank you to be humble person.
So
Hello, sir.
are there any question,
Uh,
Mr. Zanab?
Hi,
How are
hello, sir. First, I just wanted to say thank you so much for your time and thank you so much for your amazing journey. Okay, I
well,
have a question. I want to be in the future a process engineer. I want to like have a degree in designing, equipment designing. So, what do you think about this
what,
field?
what, Mrs. Zanab, what I
Mm-hmm.
have to say to students is to gain industrial experience. You have to, one has to start from somewhere. I don't know what the program is in Basra, but if you
Mm-hmm.
can, if you are in Basra during the, how would I say, the holiday session, you have 3 months holiday. If you can find a company uh, in Basra that you can gain some experience in process analysis, process design, or you can work with this company, at least it's a good start.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
please remember in my presentation, what I did was I spent about 15 months in industries while I was still in the university, at least to have an idea of what chemical engineering is. So if it's possible for you, it would be nice to gain experience in these industries in Basra or elsewhere in Iraq.
Okay, so you say like try everything until you get what you want.
Sorry, say that again, Ms.
Okay,
Zanat.
so you mean like I just need to try everything
No, what I'm
and
saying
then
is find out industries that uh, you can sort of gain the experience
yeah,
in. What, which year are you now in the university, Ms. Zena?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior.
Yeah,
Oh, I mean, you're in your final year.
yeah, in my final year.
Okay, well, okay. Then, well, you could apply to some companies in Basra. Are they processing companies like refinery companies in Basra? I'm sure they will be.
Yeah, yeah, of course. We have a
Yeah.
lot.
Oh, so ما في مشكلة. Although
Okay, sir.
Arabic is still big zero, by the way. So
No, it's a little bit good.
yeah, you can apply to these companies that you. because you soon finish, you soon complete your program. But
Okay.
never give up.
Okay.
You must never give up, Miss Zema.
Okay.
Yeah, I
So
mean,
thank you
and
so much again.
they're good ladies who are extremely good process engineers. They're winning awards all over the world now. If you go to
Yeah, and
LinkedIn,
also, and we are in Basra. I have a little bit of process engineer, like this field, not published a lot in Basra.
wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Thank you
So
so much, sir, for your time.
yeah, you can do the same, Miss Zanab. Just have that focus. Just like that
Okay.
a swimmer, that disabled swimmer, it's unbelievable. He has
Okay.
only one leg, by the way, only one leg, and it's just amazing. So if he could do it, Miss Zainab can do better.
Yeah. Thank you so
Hmm?
much, sir.
Yeah, wonderful. Any more question?
I guess no, sir.
Okay. Oh,
No, sir.
there's Adele there. Adele Mohammed.
Uh, Firstly, I would like to say that it is an honor for me to be in a presentation presented by you. I am chemical engineering Hadi Muhammad Said. I graduated this year. I studied on the books that you are wrote in chemical engineering. What a wonderful journey and a great books. Thank you for your presence with us today and for all the valuable information that you provided.
Well, thank you for joining as well, Miss Adele, and I wish you well in your journey in chemical engineering in life. And it's always a pleasure to talk to people like yourself. Shukran.
Thank you for you. Thank you for your time.
Any more? Mr.
Hello,
Mr. Abdullah, have you recorded? You say it's all recorded, eh?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good.
Okay, sir. Ali, you can speak now.
hello. What's up, my teacher?
Who is this?
I am in the first year. My English not very good.
Yeah, but my Arabic is also big zero. It doesn't matter. So just say express yourself as much as you can. I will try my best.
I am just wanna to say what your uh,
Well, say it in Arabic. Mr. Abdullah will translate it to you. He will translate what you're saying.
Of course. Can you speak Arabic?
شنو نصيحتي ان احنا مرحلة أولى؟
Okay. So, sir, uh, Ali tell you what's your advice for a fresh people or a fresh student in chemical engineering?
Well, uh, remember when what I stated in my presentation was that I didn't know what chemical engineering was when I went into the university. There were so many courses, new courses that I had to study. And I showed in my presentation that big library in Birmingham that I spent a great deal of time in. And nothing is impossible in life. I mean, once you've determined that you wanted to do this course, you just have to dedicate yourself to it. So, Abdullah, what's his name again?
He called Ali Hussein.
Is Mr. Ali? Is that his name or?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what Mr. Ali needs is that dedication and a mentor in Basra, like a faculty member. Like, do you have faculty tutors in the department that you can go to when you have problems to review, or a student assistant?
Okay, sir. Well, we have uh, this section in our university, but Ali means what's your advice like? Because you are wonderful engineering, and you have 50 years of experience in chemical engineers in this field. So he wants your advice like a person who spent his life in chemical engineering and in oil industry, not in just in academic
Well,
teacher or
yeah, it depends on what he wants to do. And I mean, yeah, my advice really first is to gain experience, and then within the field, you can, it's just so wide, chemical engineers. Yeah, you can go into production, you could go into design, you could go into research, and it's just amazing, Mr. Ali. So if you could translate what I'm saying to him in Arabic, please do. Gain the experience, and what he needs is to be able to go through the various classes, because unless he finishes the program, yeah, he won't be a chemical engineer. So he has to finish that program first in the department. Am I right or wrong?
you're totally right, sir.
Yeah, so once he finishes the program, then he can then decide what he wants in life. But
Okay, sir.
he has to finish the chemical engineering program, which he is now doing. He's in his first year, and of course, he needs a mentor. And if I keep saying, if you can get the experience in industries, that will be great. So if I'm sure the industry. By the way, do does your department offer students in the department industrial training or not?
Excuse me, sir. Can you come again?
Yeah, do you get industrial training, industrial attachment or not?
Actually, right now we don't have, but in third stage, we have a summer training in refining in Basra. So after that, we take the degree, and we uh, we take experience, a field experience. I mean.
Well, again, please help me to translate to him that he just needs to focus on the degree, yeah, because
Yes. Okay.
he's now doing it. Once he focuses on the degree, he accomplishes, he finishes, and before he finishes, he will be looking for jobs, and he needs the experience. Yeah.
Okay. So
How,
I,
how,
I
how,
will.
how is it to get jobs in Basra when one finishes, Abdullah? Is it difficult, or it's not so difficult as a
Okay, sir.
chemical
About
engineer?
okay.
No.
Actually,
I'm asking. How is it difficult or not difficult to get jobs as chemical engineers in Basra?
so, sir, excuse me. You ask me or ask Ali?
Yes, I'm asking you if you know.
Okay, okay, sir. Actually, I know because I met different people from different companies in Basra, and the most important things that they focus on in a fresh graduated students from chemical engineering, or a student who still studying in chemical engineering, like third stage of final stage. It is uh, actually they say if anyone uh, search or seek about job in chemical engineering or in oil field like chemical engineering, he should prepare himself uh, from for this for this field. So how a person prepare himself for this field? It is a very simple way. He or you should study chemical engineering, like you said, and focus on soft skills and hard skills, and develop your skills like communication skills, like computer skills, like presentation skills. So every part of or every skill from these skills, uh, it is. Uh, it is meant for company, and
Okay.
it is change
So,
your
Abdullah, sorry to cut you short then, Abdullah. So part of
okay.
my remember part one of my conclusions was based on soft skills
Yes,
like
sir.
communication skills, teamwork
Hmm.
and collaboration, problem solving, leadership skill, time management, critical thinking skills. So these are things you guys, and if you can relate it to Mr. Ali as well, when he finish, he needs you need to go through these skills now. These are skills which will help you out in industries. Everyone needs it, especially the youngsters, people like yourself.
Yes,
So
sir. I agree with you.
so these soft skills will help you out as well. And if you can translate that into Arabic to my friend, while even in the first year, it should be how could he improve his communication skills? Because I'm
Okay,
sure even in Arabic, you need to be able to communicate very well in the plant.
okay, sir. I now I will translate for Ali what you tell me.
Okay.
So تقدر تسمعني؟
Any more question? Oh, by the way, Mr. Abdullah, uh, do you have any of my textbooks in your department?
Excuse me, sir. I can't hear you.
I said, do you have any of my books in the university or not?
Well, actually, I don't know because I don't search recently in our library, but in Sunday or tomorrow I will search about your books, sir.
Okay.
And
Can
I
I
try
answer?
to help. Yes, Zainab.
Okay, we have a volume one or two and three in our college, and
Okay.
we use volume two and unit operation.
Sorry, you've got my books in your Mrs. Zanab. Did you say you've got one or two of my books in your department or in the
Yeah,
university? Oh, okay, good.
hmm and it's helpful a lot.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
That's good to hear, Ms. Zanab.
I just get panicked because you are the writer of volume, and I love the volumes, and it's helpful a lot. and it's so clear.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Shukran jazilan for that, Ms. Zanab.
عفوا.
Yes,
Can
Mr.
I
Adel.
can I talk?
Yes, madam. Yes.
Also, we have your book in the study in third stage of chemical engineering. I am University of Technology in Baghdad. We study in your book in design cube made design and fluid and studied in unit operation, and we too much have money information, and we all studied it is money تعتبر يعني أساسية كتب أساسية من
Wonderful.
بالدراسة مالتنا.
So how do you find it, Ms. Adele? How do you find the books? Okay.
Yes. And I
Wonderful.
am too much happy when I know you are wrote this book, and I want to again to study it.
Wonderful. Shukran.
It was honored to meet you here.
Likewise, guys. So it's always a pleasure to meet youngsters like yourself. So you should now do better than Coker now. Remember what I told you about that fellow? He says he's going to translate all the 5 volumes into Arabic. So I don't know how many years it will take him. It took me 9 years, but to do what I did with the 5 volumes. But if he's going to translate it into Arabic, mafi mushkula, he can do it. So there's nothing that's impossible not to do. Mr.
Okay, so
Yeah. Any more question?
I guess no. This all question about this session.
Good. Oh,
Okay, so
Mr. Ali Boza just joined. We finished, Mr. Ali.
so
At least he can watch. He can watch the replay since you recorded it, and you're going to upload it later on for people to see. That would be
of
great.
course, sir. Yeah. If anyone wants this session, he will find the link in our channel in Telegram, and if search in YouTube, he will find the session in YouTube right now. So in
Do,
the
do,
end, I
do,
will.
do you also upload on Facebook or not? Only Telegram on YouTube. No Facebook.
No, sir. We upload just in YouTube, and we put the link on Telegram because the period of this session 1 hour, so it's take a time to upload in
Oh,
Facebook.
okay. So, but send me the YouTube link as well, so that I can record. I can have it on my system. Okay.
Okay, so with all my pleasure, of course, sir. So in the end, I will thank you again, and I would to say, on behalf of my team, I mean IT team, we all thank you so much for your time and for your for to you accept our visitation. So thank you so much, sir, and
Shukran, Mr. Abdullah. Shukran jazilan for inviting me. I appreciate meeting youngsters like yourself and the ladies, and I wish you all the best. I wish you Allah's grace and blessing to be able to achieve what you aim to achieve in life.
shukran.
Shukran.
شكرا أستاذ.
Masalama.
مع السلامة.